When the leaves from the live oaks begin to fall among the pine trees, I know fall has come to Julian. Well, Tabitha and I love to take a walk down a country lane. We don't even mind sharing it with the cows, do we, Tabitha? Well, I like to kick the leaves. Tabitha likes to sniff out the squirrels. Just wonderful walk in the fresh air. Almost as wonderful as that fresh air is the beautiful Country Lanes quilt. There are two easy blocks to make in it. Well, the first one is really easy. There's pumpkin colored roses on a dark green background. Perfect. And the size of this matches the second block, just the crossroads of two country lanes, a country lane in brown check and another one in green. Put those two together and you have a beautiful, easy quilt, charming but quick to make. Well, usually when I get to the crossroads, I have no idea which way to go. But today I know. I'm taking you right to the sewing room and I'm going to show you how to make the Country Lanes quilt. When Tabitha and I were outside, the cows were hanging out with us and they wouldn't go away. They were so noisy. Now, I don't know if you noticed, but I was sitting on a bale of hay. Well, the cows noticed and they weren't going to leave without their lunch. Oh my gosh, Tabitha was so afraid. But we got through, we had a good time, and now we're starting on Country Lanes. Well, this is the first block, and you can see there's an X right through the block, or the crossroads. Now, chain 1 is a brown check. Chain 2 is this dark green. Easy to do. It comes from 2.5-inch strips. It's actually a 9 patch, and we're going to start right here in the very center of the 9 patch with half strips of background, chain 1, and background. For a wall hanging, you only need a half strip set. That's pretty easy. And then this is the second set for the 9 patch. It's the check with the background and the dark green. For 9 blocks, you need to have 2 half strip sets. Pretty easy to do. Well, it's fall and my hands are just so dry, I can't even grab hold of these strips. So I'm just going to take this solution. It's non-toxic, non-greasy, rub it on my fingers, and then I can just go ahead and grip the strips. I'm going to start right here, take the check, flip it right sides together to the background. It's a 1/4-inch seam, and to help me get that perfect seam, I'm using this 1/4-inch foot that actually has this bar right along there. The fabric can't go past that bar, and when you can do that, oh, you can get the straightest strips ever. So I'm just going to line up the edge of these strips, use needle down, drop that bar right against the edge. I have 2.0 or 15 stitches to the inch, and I am just going to pedal. Honestly, I love strip sewing. It's just so much fun, fast, you don't even have to think. But it seems that when I'm strip sewing, I'm always just chasing my feet all over on the floor, trying to keep touch of that foot pedal. It gets out of control. Okay, I'm at the end of that first set. Let me go to the second set. I'm going to flip the background right sides together to that check. Just assembly line sew right through there. Okay, and we are going. Well, let me show you what I've done to make my strip sewing really easy. I have this base. I put my sewing foot pedal right on top. There's a non-skid material that holds it all in place. I don't have to keep chasing it all around underneath my sewing machine. It's at a tilt, so I sit comfortably when I sew. That's the first 2 strips. I'm just going to cut my threads and do some pressing. Goes really quick. I have some more tips to show you too. Well, I really like to use this pressing mat with the lines on it because I hate bowed strips. So I'm just going to line up these strips with the lines on the pressing mat, run my iron right across there. Oops, I'm a steam person. Open, and then just lead that strip open with your fingers. Just zoom right down there. Make sure there's no tucks, no folds. We're nearly done already. Okay, now let me just put these back in place. This one is going to go right here like this. And let us put this one so we have the chain, the background, and the dark green. Good. Let's flip it right sides together, and I'll give you another tip. Just in case you're not able to use your foot. Oh, I had a friend that had some knee surgery, and she found that she couldn't even press on the foot pedal. Well, check out your machine, because there could be a start-stop button on it. If you push that button, you can actually just sew without using your foot at all. I took out my foot pedal. Okay, I've got that button pressed, and so you just go, and all you have to do is just keep up guiding your machine. Now, you can find out, you know, sometimes you get tired, pedal to the metal, pushing hard the whole time. It'll just sew by itself. Just keep it going right through there. And then when you get to the bottom, just press your stop button, cut your threads, and you're done. Well, I've got this one done. I'm going to press the seams to the dark. And then on the second set, I'm going to add the green, press the seam to the green. But I've already got those all done, ready to go. I'm just going to cut them apart. Now, let's just set this up. I like to get it done quickly so that it's ready for sewing. So I'm going to just take this one, put it on the bottom, take a second set, and I'm just going to put right sides together and lock those seams. And my third one, I'm just going to put right on the bottom, kind of stagger them so they're all ready, and get them all lined up. Using this ruler for cutting, they are 2.5-inch segments, so I help myself out by putting marks every 2.5 inches. Just going to start right here in the end, straighten that end, take the piece, get rid of it. Now go to 2.5 and 5, 7.5, 10, and you cut 5 sets. This is for your 9 patch. Let's get rid of that. Okay, now we pick up the first set. It's already right sides together. So when you open it up like that, this is how it's supposed to look. So let me just grab these two, and I'll sew them together. You want to get the seams locked right in the middle. Line them up, hold them tight with your fingers. The stiletto is just so useful right now. And I still have my start-stop button on. Finger, match that up. And then when you get to the bottom, assembly line sew. Or let's just take a look at one. And now we've got these two going along so that we continue the chain. This time the piece is going to go in this order. Flip it right sides together, sew it along there, and then press the seams away from the center. Let me finish my 9 patch, and I'll show you how to add to that block. We're moving right down that road. I have my 9 patch done. The first thing you want to do is measure a 9 patch. Now, if you had a perfect 1/4 inch seam, this block should measure 6.5 inches. Just put your diagonal line right down through there, 6.5 right here and here. Whatever yours is, you want to mark that down and remember it's okay if it's 6.5. Just means you had a little wider seam. Now, take your 9 patch and stack it up with your chain number 2 in the upper left corner. You want to add 2.5 inch background strips to both sides to continue that block. So I'm just going to take this first one, flip it right sides together. The seam is on the top, so you're just going to sew right over that seam as it's pressed. Now, it would be great if you just assembly line sewed. Well, you could just sew right down along the whole strip, keep on butting them on, but I'm just going to show you one. You know, when I go out on a country road, I love a GPS system. I think those GPS systems save a lot of marriages. Okay, I have it on one side, the background on one side. Now I'm just going to take another 2.5, flip it right sides together, and sew it along here. Now, when I was just back in Tennessee, oh, I loved those country roads because they are painting quilt blocks on all of the barns. And they are even interviewing the people that live on those farms, asking about the blocks, why did they select that particular one? And usually it's because it's a family quilt, and there those paintings are. Biggest life, they're wonderful. Okay, now just set the seam on both sides, open and press right towards the background. Let me just get these nice and straight. You know, not only are they painting the barns in Tennessee, but I've heard they're painting them in Ohio. That's another country road system I'm going to have to take. Now, if this block is 6.5, then when we cut this apart, this should also be 6.5. So just cut it. You're going to put side pieces on all of them. Now, once you know whatever measurement your block is, you're going to cut a background strip exactly the same size. So this one is 6.5. On each side, I added a green. On the other side, I added the check. Tricky this time, so that the seams lock together, you press them in towards the background. Right here, they're going towards the background, but you'll see that when they go together, they're going to lock right in place. Okay, get that ruler. They're 2.5-inch sections again. We are on the road. This is going really quick. If you're making 5 blocks, you're going to need to have 2 of these for each block, or a total of 10. 2.5-inch strips. I'm just going to stop there so I can show you how they're going to fit together. You want to continue that chain pattern. So obviously it's going to go like this, and on the other side we're going to turn it like that. The green is going right through. Now when you flip it right sides together, those are just going to line up perfectly. As soon as you get both of those strips added on, measure it. Once again, if you had a perfect 1/4 of an inch, your block should be 10.5 inches square. Doesn't matter if yours is a little bit smaller. Whatever it is, go ahead and take your large scale floral and cut 4 blocks exactly the same size for a wall hanging. Well, I'm going to get all of these blocks done, cut my large scale prints, and I'll show you how to lay that top out. I have my 5 chain blocks and my 4 large scale prints all laid out. This is what I did. I took my chain blocks and turned them so that that brown check makes a continuous diagonal line right through the quilt. And then in the corners, they are going at the same angle here and also down here. Well, the green naturally picks up a diagonal line in the opposite direction. Well, I could just sew this whole thing together, but it would look so much better if the chains continued right into the borders. So I cut my background into rectangles that are 6.5 inches by 10.5 inches, and they are going right beside all of the chain blocks. Now the 6.5 measurement comes from the 9 patch. The 10.5 measurement comes from the size of the finished block. So whatever yours is, that's what you're going to cut your rectangles. Now, I need something for right here on the sides, continuing that chain, and right down here. And I did 3 different sets of strips. This is my first set of strips that I did, or row 1. This is the 2.5-inch strip, you know that. But on the other sides, I put 4.5-inch background, and then just press those seams towards the background. Well, row 2 is easy. It's all 2.5-inch strips with 3 background, 1 green, and 1 check. Again, all the seams go towards the background. This is pretty easy to remember, but they're all going to lock together. And then the third row is the 6.5 measurement with a green and a check on the ends. Well, when you lay those together, they're actually mirror image pieces. If you look and see, this one is for the bottom and the top, and then again here at the sides, mirror image. So let's just take it out. See how we get it to go. take one of each, row 1, row 2, row 3. And I'm just going to start out here, row 1 on the outside edge, and then row 2, turn your strips so that you can continue that chain, and then right here goes just like that. It's going right through there. This is looking good. Okay, over here for the side, we're going to pick up those same 3 pieces, but start out here, row 1, and take row 2. This is good. And then just turn. Whoops, it laid right in there. Row 3. So that makes the continuous chain going right down through there. We've got some lonely corners. Pretty easy again. This is what it looks like. The one corner, you're going to make 2 exactly like this one. Quite simple. The center is made of the chain 1, the background on either side, and then for the second and the third, you need to have 4.5 inch background, 2.5 inch. Let's go like that. Just turn that one around. Ta-da! We've got the check corner, and right up here, we're going to do exactly the same thing. Turn it like that, and it's just the 2 backgrounds with the chain, and one like this, the exact same piece, just turned around. Well, the pieces are nearly all in place. All I have to do is just sew the top together, add a background around the outside edge, add a border, and I'm done. Fall is the perfect time of the year to stitch up a patch of pumpkins, and they're just so much fun to do. So dig into your fabrics, pull out all of your oranges, and see what you can create. Well, this is just such a cute guy. It's made out of orange flannel, good old stem, brown pipe cleaner here. Now this guy is a lot rounder. He's got some sparkly berries in here, a green pipe cleaner, little orange and green berries, orange leaves, so cute. Well, I'm just going to do one at 7 inches by 17 inches. And with the leftovers, I can even do these cute little guys with 4 by 8 inch rectangles. So simple. You know, actually, I think that your kids would really enjoy doing this with you as well. So I'm just going to take my rectangle. I cut a bunch of them. They're so much fun to put out at your Thanksgiving dinner table. Why not? People will love them. So take your rectangle and just fold them right sides together. This is the 7 inch side, 7 inches by 17. Now you could leave a real long tail right at the beginning and use it for your gathering stitch, or just go ahead and zip it right down, thread your own needle. Okay, cut your threads, and then take and fold your seam open. Just press it open, take it to the iron, or finger press it with your fingers. I have a needle threaded and I am ready for some hand sewing. It's a double strand knotted on the end, and this time what's so much fun is you get to take really big stitches, not any of those cute little stitches. Do about 1/8 inch from the end and just go in and out the whole way around, and then when you get back to the end, just draw it tight and line up, tie it off. Well, I've got one already started, ready to show you. Okay, this is what it looks like. Kind of looks like a little hat right there that we have. So once you have that drawn up and knotted on the ends, just turn it right side out. And now that's on the bottom. It's stuffing time. And then once you have it stuffed firmly, one more time, take your hand sewing needle, just run a gathering stitch right around here. Well, I've got one already gathered. This is what it looks like. And when you gather, make sure you leave a little hole right in the very center so that you can put the stem. Well, the jute comes next. And the measuring is simple. You probably need about 2.5 yards. That'll be perfect. You can use jute, or you could also use pearl cotton just to wrap around here and give some dimension. Okay, let's find that seam. I'm going to find the seam and line up the first jute right along that seam. Leave a tail right there and go halfway around. And then, guess the tighter you squeeze, the more dimension you'll have in the pumpkin. Okay, half again, and then go one more time so that you divide it actually in 6 parts. Pull it a little tight and evenly space, and then one more time. Let's see what we've got here. Okay, move those jute pieces around there so it kind of looks even, and then just tie off the top of your jute. You could leave that hanging on there if you'd like, and you're ready for the next step. How about I'm just going to cut mine off. Okay, let's find out where that hole went. I need my stem. I need a little bit of glue. You know, my favorite time going out to the pumpkin patch was with Orion and Justin. Oh, they were just so cute, running around having their little pumpkin race. You know, my son Grant is pretty shy. He just won't join in on all of that fun. But what great time, great memories. Okay, how about some leaves? We need some leaves right now. We've got to glue those right in there. You can put them right at the side. Squeeze some glue. Okay, the pipe cleaner is an easy trick. Just take it, fold it right here. Take a pencil and just wrap that around there. This is so easy. That's nice curly there. How about a little bit more wrap right here? We're doing good. This is going to get stuck into the glue as well. And how about some really fun festive berries? Just put right in there and add to the whole festivities. Well, it's great time in the fall. Enjoy your country lanes and add some pumpkins. Mountain Mist Batting published the Country Lanes pattern in 1937. It's pattern number 64. Well, the Stearns & Foster Company from Cincinnati, Ohio, that manufactures Mountain Mist, has been in business since 1846. That's a long time. Well, I love to collect their old patterns and brochures. Now this one is Quilt Patterns, Old and New, and it shows Country Lane with a list of 240 other patterns. It's described as a simple but refreshingly new and very effective modern elaboration of the old favorite 9-patch design. Well, the quilting lines are quite unique with 4 squares echo quilted. You know, you could do that with your walking foot and your quilting guide. You know, by the way, we could also buy an 81 by 96 roll for $2.50. Well, here's a Country Lanes on a pattern wrapper in color, alongside the traditional red and blue tumbling blocks that's typical for Mountain Mist. And if we would just send 10 cents, we could get another pattern. So much fun. Now, if we're going to call a quilt modern, this would be my choice, made by Lois Bresloff. Well, she used a bright mottled orange for her background, and parrots are perched in the jungle for her solid square. You know, her backing is certainly a perfect match. Well, the colors just perk you up, don't they? Well, Sandy Thompson's Country Lane is toned down just a bit with a woodsy flavor. You know, it is so thick. It's very warm and soft. Kids would just love to snuggle under it. Well, I've taken you through the seasons. We started out with fabrics in deep scarlet red, forest green, and a touch of gold for my winter palette. This one is perfect for holiday decor. And then we moved into spring with beautiful soft shades of green and yellows to announce the new season. Ooh, the flowers just abound in buds and new growth. And now the fall with rich pumpkin and green finishes the year. The next time we're together, I'll have some great tips on machine quilting for you. So whichever Country Lane you choose today, I hope it includes some enjoyable quilting.